Some people are obsessed with chimpanzees. They want to own them, dress them up, and love them like their children. But chimps are not children. Treating them like they are can be a huge mistake. People are drawn to chimps because they act like us. We share 98.8% of our DNA with them. That's exactly why I've been hesitant to make this video. Learning about chimps is like looking into a mirror, and sometimes it reflects the darkest parts of us. Just like humans, chimps can be violent, hold grudges, and even seem cruel. They start wars with each other and sometimes eat their enemies. This side of them made me not want to know more. But in many ways, chimps are the most fascinating animals we could study. They're incredibly smart. So much so that in some ways they might be smarter than us. Studies show that chimps have photographic memory, something most adult humans don't have. Their intelligence helps them live in complex social groups, where empathy and friendship matter. Still, violence plays a big role in their society. Why is violence so common for chimps? Why do they have photographic memory? Can they even understand the horrible things they do? Chimpanzees are great apes that live in Africa's dense forests and grassy plains, from Senegal to Tanzania. Their calls echo through the treetops. Even though they're our closest relatives, we move through the world in different ways. Humans walk on 2 feet. Our feet are shaped for it. We have arches that store and release energy as we walk. Our big toe lines up with the others to help push us forward. We don't use our feet to grab things unless it's picking up socks off the floor. When we walk, our hips and ribs swing in opposite directions to save energy. Chimps can walk on 2 legs, but they usually don't. Their feet work like hands with a thumb-like big toe. Their arches aren't stiff like ours. They swing their hips more when they walk, and their ribs move in the same direction, which takes more energy. So instead, they usually walk on all 4s using a method called knuckle walking. They bend their fingers and put their weight on their knuckles. Only African great apes, and oddly enough, some anteaters, pangolins, and platypuses do this. Why? Because their front limbs are built for things other than walking. Anteaters and pangolins dig with long claws. Platypuses have webbed hands for swimming. For chimps, gorillas, and bonobos, their long fingers help them grip branches when swinging through trees, a style called brachiation. Chimp fingers are not just long, they're curved. When we grab a bar, our flat fingers make a square grip. Pressure isn't spread evenly, but chimps make a circular grip so the pressure is even and they can hold bigger branches. This grip is powerful. Grip strength is the force used to hold on to something. The average man can squeeze about 73 pounds. Women average around 44 pounds. Chimps? Some sources say they can grip with 440 pounds of force. Others claim as high as 730 pounds. The sources vary, but either way, it's a lot. They need this strength to live in trees. Chimps often hang from one arm for 35 minutes a day. I'd last 5 seconds. People say chimps have super strength, maybe not 5 times stronger than humans, like old myths say, but they are stronger. A 2017 study showed that chimps have 67% fast twitch muscle fibers, compared to 40% in humans. These fibers are great for explosive actions, like punching or jumping. Chimps' muscles are 1.5 times stronger per pound than ours. They also have denser bones and stronger tendons, which helps them use more force without getting hurt. One quick move from a chimp could rip someone's face off. And their teeth make things worse. Male chimps have huge canines. They use them to threaten others and, when needed, to fight. Chimps are some of the most violent apes, second only to humans. They fight wars, kill, and sometimes eat other chimps. They've also attacked and horribly injured human caretakers, more than any other ape. In attacks, chimps often go for the hands, face, feet, and genitals. They are more brutal than gorillas or orangutans. Orangutan males fight over mates or land sometimes. Gorillas rarely get violent in stable groups. Bonobos, chimps' closest relatives, fight too, but they're known to be more peaceful. Humans, well, we know our record. What makes chimp violence feel different is how extreme it can get. This first became clear in the 1970s, when Jane Goodall and her team watched a group of chimps in Gombe Stream National Park go through a horrible civil war. The group split into two, a northern group and a southern one. At first, things stayed peaceful, but over time, tension grew. The South had become separatists, and the North saw them as a threat. The first killing happened on January 7, 1974. 6 northern males ambushed a southern male and beat him to death. Then another was killed. Then Goliath, an old chimp who tried to greet his former friends, was also attacked and killed. Others disappeared, likely also killed. The last southern male held out for a year, but eventually he too was killed. Females weren't spared. Some were killed, others kidnapped. The northern group won, but peace didn't last. Another war broke out soon after. The separatists had acted as a buffer between groups. Without them, there was more conflict. Jane Goodall was deeply disturbed. She later wrote about lying awake at night, haunted by the memories, chimps drinking blood, throwing rocks, tearing skin, and eating a baby. People didn't want to believe this was natural. Many blamed Goodall herself, claiming the violence came from feeding the chimps bananas. But later research showed that wasn't true. The wars were due to power struggles and competition for mates. Violence, it turns out, is a natural part of chimp life. The more males in a group, and the denser the population, the more likely violence becomes. Today we know that chimp groups often attack each other. Intergroup aggression is common, and attacks are the second most frequent cause of death. Why are chimps more violent than gorillas? Maybe it's because they fight over scarcer resources. Or maybe because they're smarter. They can plan, form alliances, and fight for higher social rank. Even though wild chimps aren't violent because of humans, captive chimps sometimes are. Take Travis, the chimp from the HBO docuseries. Born in Missouri and sold at 3 days old, he lived with Sandra and Jerome Harold in Connecticut. Treated like a child, he appeared in ads, drank wine at the table, and opened doors with keys. By adulthood, Travis weighed 200 pounds. In 2009, he snapped and attacked Sandra's friend, Charla Nash. The attack lasted 12 minutes. Charla survived, but she lost her eyes, nose, lips, jaw, and much of her face. Her hands were also destroyed. Travis was shot and killed by police. It's easy to call Travis a monster, but chimps aren't monsters. They're not babies, they're wild animals. Still, I believe that people who live with chimps do love them. Chimps can form deep bonds with humans and each other. They live in large groups of 15 to 150, with smaller subgroups inside, kind of like school cliques. What holds them together? Grooming. Chimps pick bugs, dirt, and dead skin off each other. It's social, intimate, and helps build friendships. Male chimps often groom other males. This kind of male bonding is rare in animals, where males usually compete. But in chimps, these friendships can last 5 to 10 years, especially between half-brothers or males of similar rank. These friendships help with sharing food and rising in social rank. Allies help each other gain status, which leads to more food, more mates, and more protection. Females also form bonds, usually for protection or food. The result is a complex network of relationships, similar to our own. And chimps remember everything. They know who helped them, who hurt them. In 2023, researchers showed that chimps and bonobos have the longest long-term memory in any non-human animal. They showed apes pictures of past group members and strangers. The apes recognized old friends, even after 26 years. Chimps also have amazing short-term memory. In one test, numbers appeared on a screen briefly. Then they were replaced by boxes. The subject had to remember where the numbers were. Humans and adult chimps struggled, but young chimps got it right, even when the numbers flashed on screen for only 210 milliseconds. That's faster than the eye can scan. Scientists think young chimps have a kind of photographic memory called eidetic memory. A few young humans have this, but it fades with age. Chimps' memory fades too, but still stays better than ours. And that makes everything we've learned about them all the more powerful and all the more haunting.